Fortune favors the prepared. And one of the people who's a major benefactor of that right now is NFL star Travis Kelce. He's been around the league for a while, and whether you know him because he's really good at football, because he's Taylor Swift's boyfriend, or because he's just always on TV and commercials and wherever else, he's become a household name. And while you and I may not be famous professional athletes dating famous pop stars and celebrities, Jamie, walking up the stairs, you are my celebrity. I think there are a few different things that we can learn from him and his meteoric rise over the past year or so as we build our businesses, as we build our brands, and as we build ourselves personally. My name is Patrick Menefee, and I'm here to help you level up your money, your mindset, and your mission in order to help you become the best possible version of yourself, because the world needs more people who are doing exactly that. Now, these videos come out every single Monday, so click that subscribe button, make sure that you stay up to date on all of the videos that come out. Hit the like button if you like this one as well, and leave a comment. I have a newsletter that comes out every other Monday called the Menefee Monday Motivator. This is delivered to your inbox every other Monday. Been a little bad about it over the holidays, so forgive me for that one. You can click the link down in the description below and subscribe. Now, there was a recent New York Times profile on Travis Kelce where they talked with a couple of his agents, and there was some really interesting insight that I think that we can gain from that, because while he's been around the league for 11 years and he's been very good at football this whole time, he hasn't been the star that he is right now. And we might think that it's just because of Taylor Swift and his relationship with her, but there are a lot of things that go into this, and I think there's 4 really big things that we can take out of his story and out of what his agents shared that we can apply. Now, the first thing is keep the main thing, and put in the work. Now, the only reason he's been able to get here, even though he's been around for a long time, is because he was a great football player to start. Before he was in commercials, before he was talked about with Taylor Swift, before any of that stuff happened, he was a phenomenal football player, and he has been for the past 11 years. He continued to put in that work every single day. That was his main thing, and he focused on it. A lot of times we see people get distracted and they go off and they sign sponsorship deals, they get distracted by a bunch of other things, they get distracted by the money and the fame, and then all of a sudden their career falls apart, and then they've kind of got left with nothing. It's not what Kelce did. What Kelce did was focus on football over and over and over. The podcast didn't come out until recently. All of these things didn't happen until he had already crushed it in the thing that he was doing. And we see this a lot of times in business too. When we see really successful business owners, the people that I've seen speaking on stages and that I've had conversations with that are very, very, very good at what they do and have a really big portfolio and have a lot of wealth, they aren't starting with a bunch of different things. They didn't start by diversifying. There's the familiar stat that the average millionaire has 7 different streams of income. Well, they didn't become millionaires usually by having 7 streams of income. They diversified once they got there, but they focused on something that was the main thing that allowed them to get to the point where they were then able to create success, create a name for themselves, create wealth, and then diversify further. Now, that's not to say I talk a lot about the importance of experimentation in my story. You can watch some of the previous videos on that. Experimentation is very important because the main thing can't be the main thing until you know what the main thing is. How many times can I say the main thing? But you have to figure out what that thing is so that you can commit to it. I'm not going to talk about that in this video. I've talked about it before and I'll talk about it again. But once you know what it is, dive in, head first, all in, and don't deviate until you've hit the success that you wanted to hit, until it's time to move on. The second thing we can take from this is the importance of surrounding yourself with the right people. It's very obvious in football. You can be a great individual performer, you can be talented as an individual, but you can't be a winner unless you have a team. Part of what launched him into his great success and stardom now today was the Super Bowl that he won last year. Set him up for other things that his agents talked about that allowed him to gain the stardom that he has right now. That Super Bowl doesn't happen on his own. It happens as a result of being surrounded by other people. Now, he has a little bit less control over that as a football player on an NFL team, but the same thing applies with the people that he surrounds himself with his agents, with the rest of his business entity around him. And the same thing applies for you and I. The people that we surround ourselves with, people that we look up to as mentors, as coaches, the people that we have around us that are running alongside of us, that are our colleagues, our partners, the people that work for us, the people that we hire, the people that we are around on a regular basis. These people make a big difference. And when we surround ourselves with the right people, we've heard and we've talked about a million times the old adage of you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That levels us up and allows us to take advantage of opportunities and really tap into all of these things that we're talking about and reach that level that Travis has. Now, the third takeaway is that success doesn't come overnight. It requires patience. People go up to his agents and they talk about, man, this is crazy how much he's blown up this year. Their response is, no, it's not. We knew it was going to happen. It was expected. They've been patient. They've been putting in the work. They've been doing what we talked about in number 1 and 2. And now that patience is paying off. But if you stop along the way, if you expect overnight success in this world of instant gratification, sometimes we take our eye off the ball. We pivot. We don't see the results immediately. And as a result, we shift. We see this as we're building personally, as we're building our businesses, as we're building our brand. Success in our businesses that we start, it doesn't come overnight. The revenue doesn't start coming in on day one. It takes work. It takes building a business plan, having the idea. It takes a million different things before the revenue starts coming in. Now, whether you're working on yourself, you're working on building a brand, or you're working on your business, all of these things, this patience still applies. Same thing with building a brand, especially on something like social media or on your website. You don't just gain 1 million followers overnight. You don't gain a ton of traffic to your website to generate sales overnight. You have to put in the work. You have to post when no one is watching what you're posting. Like these videos when I had 10 views, and still when I don't get a ton of views. You've got to continue to put in the work, because eventually the success does come, and you have to be patient. You have to wait for it. A lot of times when we're doing personal development work, the personal development work can feel like it's not action. We can feel like it's not moving us forward, when in reality, it's a totally different type of work. We expect the results to be more tangible. We expect the results to be financial right away, when really the results are internal. There's a change that happens internally that then leads to an outward shift that leads to those results that we're looking for. But you've got to be patient. You've got to be willing to put in the work and not expect success to come overnight. Because as you can see for him, it worked, and that success has come massively, but it didn't happen immediately. And the fourth and final takeaway, Carpe Diem, seize the day. When the opportunity does come, when opportunity knocks, open the damn door. Again, his agents talked about how they knew that this success was going to happen. They knew it was a matter of time. But what if that success came? What if the opportunity came and you didn't take advantage of it? For Travis Kelce, one of the big things that his agents talked about was how the Super Bowl last year in 2023, that Super Bowl win catapulted him to an even greater level of stardom. That allowed him to get onto Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live was kind of a catalyst, and that was something that they had planned. They seized the momentum from the Super Bowl, took advantage of Saturday Night Live, which then leapfrogged him even further. We need to do the same thing. We need to be strategic. We need to seize the moment when it comes. A lot of times that moment may come. We've been patient. We've put in the work. We've done all of the things. We've surrounded ourselves with the right people. But then the moment comes, that success arrives, and we squander it. We either don't allow it to happen because we tell ourselves a story that we don't deserve it, we're not good enough for it, or that it needs to happen further down the line, or we celebrate too much in the moment and we let it pass, and we don't take advantage of that in order to help us catapult forward even more. Got to seize the day. You've got to seize the moment. You've got to seize success when it comes, and that can help us take it to the next level. Now, while there are probably many more things that we could take away from his rise, and we'll probably get into some other versions of those in the future, these four I think are really critical right now. 1, make the main thing and do the work. 2, surround yourself with the right people. 3, success doesn't happen overnight. You got to be patient. And 4, seize the damn day. Seize the opportunity when it comes. I'm curious to see how you can apply these. I'd love to hear in the comments how you can apply this to you and to your business and to the work that you're doing on yourself and your brand. And again, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the video if this was helpful, and I will see you next week.